Liv Morgan, that was the only title change on the show, correct? Liv Morgan dropping the belt to Ronda Rousey, right? It was probably one that a lot of people called from a distance. The only thing was, if they really wanted to make Liv Morgan, this was lurking in the back of people's minds, she had to beat her again. When I was interviewing Liv Morgan and she mentioned that she's already beaten her twice, I did think to myself, don't think you're going to get a third. That doesn't sound plausible to me. And just the more and more you think about it, the people that are at the top of the card, women-wise, would be very hard to, you know what I mean? They would have had to have done it before now to have Liv Morgan go super strong in the main event. Like 9 times out of 10, if you are going to be an underdog babyface champion, you've got to be, you know, I'm not saying Liv Morgan can't go, but fuck, you got to really wrestle, right? Like Danielson we're talking about here, or Punk when he was like the underdog smaller champion, Mysterio. You know, you want to be the underdog babyface, you got to wrestle. And they didn't position her in a way where she was going to wrestle circles around Ronda Rousey is the point that I'm making here. SB3, we'll start with you, man, because I know Kenny's going to have some thoughts. What did you think about the result, for one, putting it back on Ronda, right, heading into the latter part of the year, WrestleMania season encroaching, but secondly, how the match went down, because I hate to be this guy, there were some sloppy spots in there, man. There was a few sloppy spots.
Yeah, I would say so. The result was the only result WWE could do at this time, because basically, I'll say the elephant in the room. Triple H used Liv Morgan's title reign to facilitate Ronda Rousey getting over more. It's plain as day now. It is what it is. It happened. They made the right decision by putting the title back on her. The match itself was bad. And I'm going to say it because I don't know if everybody else will say it. Ronda was the better worker in that matchup, because Liv Morgan, I appreciate her getting over. She is so charismatic, so likable, and she has such a great character. She could be a great underdog babyface, and she's improved so much. But those were the worst steel chair shots since Hulk Hogan in 1995 on the Dungeon of Doom. Those were the worst. Those were the worst bat shots since a girl's 7-year-old wiffle ball game that I saw back in 1995 when I was 7 years old. These were horrible. It was so bad. And yes, very slappy, not very good. Ronda Rousey tried to carry her to a better finish. The finish was all right. And I'm happy that Liv Morgan has a character change coming out of it, but the match itself, not very good.
I mean, is that the worst thing? If, like, you know, you're looking at, let's just put yourself in Triple H's shoes for a second. Having Ronda Rousey regain some popularity out of this feud, probably the best case scenario. I don't know if I'm being unfair there. Kenny, man, what do you think about everything SP3 just said and what unfolded?
I mean, I love that SP3 gave this look as if, like, I said something bad, and he was just like, this is the worst thing a 7-year-old could do better. I remember being in a playground and someone had more heat, like, which I appreciate. I like that I'm rubbing off on you, SP3. But the match was bad. It was bad. Because the thing is, to your point, Alex, she needed to have this, like, valiant underdog match where, like, she looked really good in defeat. And the fact that Ronda's a better worker, I mean, I don't even think if you sat down Ronda Rousey, who seems a fairly sensitive person about her profession anyway, I think even she would go, yeah, like, I shouldn't have been the better worker there. Like, I should have, because I'm really 2 years into this, if you think about, like, real time together. I mean, the smile when she was in the choke, what was that all about? Why was she doing the weird smile? Are we in 50 Shades of Grey? What's going on? It was bad. Liv Morgan, like, I love that documentary she had on the network. I thought it was really good, really strong.
I did.
I loved it.
But I think she's regressed. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's just, you know, she choked on the big stage of the run. And, like, if you're WWE, and I know fans probably don't want to hear this because it's like a businessy thing, but how much money are you paying Ronda Rousey? How much are you going to get back for Ronda Rousey compared to Liv Morgan? And if Liv Morgan then is showing you nothing in the run, then, like, I mean, if they had put Liv Morgan over here, it would have been criminal compared to, you know, what Ronda can do.
Yeah. You make interesting points there, because with Liv Morgan, like, how many times is the champion not going to, like general the match? You know what I mean? Like who was leading what was going on in the ring, I guess, because you know, from an experience standpoint, lest we forget, Liv Morgan's like what, nearly 10 years deep?
Yeah.
Like,
well, do you know something I was thinking about, and I think this is like a fair point to make. So, you know, if you ever go to like the theater, right? Say you go and see like a play or a musical or whatever, and you're watching this play, and all of a sudden one of the actors flubs a line, right? It's like you all of a sudden go from being really comfortable and enjoying it to like really on edge. Like, oh no, is this gonna happen again? Like, and then you're kind of on edge for a couple of minutes until they've kind of got back in the groove and you can relax. With Liv Morgan, I'm on edge the whole time because I'm like, oh God, does she know the next move? Has she got it? Oh, she got it. I shouldn't be feeling that way. Like, that's not how you should be feeling as a fan. I think that's part of the problem.
Mate, that I was exactly the same for different reasons when Goldberg faced Drew. Right? The entire match, I was that scared that they were going to make that terrible decision again. I was that terrified that and people were going, "Oh, it's great though," because no, it wasn't great that I was that worried about something. That isn't the investment that I should be looking for from wrestling. It was shite. But yeah, I mean, Liv for what her ceiling was once upon a time, you've got to say that, you know, she's exceeded what expectations were even just 2 or 3 years ago for her. And I'm not saying she didn't ever have the propensity to become like one of the top babyface acts, because she does have a lot of the things you would look for in a very likable top, you know, good guy. She definitely does have it. And I feel like the momentum came Money in the Bank last year. Remember, a lot of people wanted her to win it, but Nikki Ash won it. And that carried over this year. But my concern all along, and I wanted to be optimistic as I always am, but as soon as she did win it, very much like Nikki Ash, you're thinking, right, well, unless you go all in, right, unless you then start, like Hangman Page when he became champion, right, Danielson, these, you know, he's very strong starts where they tell you this guy is on this level. Having Liv Morgan kind of straight away with Ronda again, like never quite escaping her, I just felt like she's never getting out of this alive. She was never getting out of the Ronda Rousey feud alive. Never, ever. Like, what do you do with Ronda Rousey then, moving into her next feud when she's been soundly beaten by Liv Morgan over the course of 3 months? Come on now. It's never going to happen. And I don't mean out of any disrespect to Liv Morgan, but it goes back to what Kenny said from a business standpoint. Like, whether you like it or not, Ronda Rousey is one of the poster girls, or, you know, pillars now, you know, maybe there's a better term for it than that, of the women's division. And you better believe Triple H, who went out of his way to make her look like an absolute $17 million wrestler on her debut, you best believe he thinks of her in that light. If you thought Vince McMahon liked her, you better wake up. Triple H likes her a hell of a lot more. So yeah, I feel like it was bound to happen. And as we get to this Survivor Series season, which seems to be revamped, which I'm excited about, by the way, you know, there could be something interesting for her there. And as we get into WrestleMania season, now what? Because Charlotte looks like she's going to be coming back in the fairly near future. We saw the vignette for her during Survivor Series. It was kind of a general ad, to be honest, but kind of a vignette. Just laying cards on the table right now for the both of you. Both women's belts at WrestleMania. What do you think?
I would go for, I'm going to try and be cautiously optimistic about what I think. I think it's going to be on the Raw side, Becky and Ronda. I think, no. The SmackDown side will be Becky and Ronda, and the Raw side, I think, will be Bayley and Sasha. I think Sasha will be back by then. You know, she's going to see that Triple H was serious about the changes and that things are better. Because that's the thing, it's like, it's not like Raw all of a sudden has become like, these are the best 3 hours of my life. It's just, they're good.
They're better.
Like,
yeah.
You know, like I don't feel, because you know how like usually when you watch WWE, under Vince, when you watch WWE, you'd be like, oh God, what are they going to do to him or her?
Yeah.
You know, you would have that thing. Whereas now you kind of go, I actually am not that worried anymore. Like Bray Wyatt, I'm like, I'm not that worried because Triple H is someone who seems through all the changes he's making, whether it's, you know, let's say wrestling again, you know, let's say hospital, 2-man announce booths, you know, intro packages again, like all this stuff that he's doing are all very simple things. So I feel like, I think that Sasha's going to see, and she's a Triple H gal, essentially. So I think that, I think Sasha Bailey for one of the belts, Becky and Ronda for the other.
So no Flair Belair, or is that just a non-title?
I mean, it's one of those things where I don't like the idea that you always have to have these triple threats, so you have something else. So like,
I don't either.
I like the idea. Like, I would just do they should just do a storyline where it's like Bianca and Charlotte, have them both on each brand going, "Where's my match?" or whatever, and then have them have a big grudge match in WrestleMania, and the winner gets to fight the champion of their choice. So they can kind of go, Charlotte can say, "Am I going to choose the winner of Ronda and Becky because I've got history with both of them, or am I going to, I think that you can do something like that, but how many 3-ways do we talk about and remember, or 4-ways? It's a handful. And the last time Charlotte Flair was in a 3-way at WrestleMania, it was utter bollocks. So let's not revisit that.
Apart from this 3-way. This 3-way happening right now.
I've not been a part of any 3-ways before, but this is the first time. It's enjoyable.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Please don't.
No, I know I won't. We'll get shut. Monetizing will never happen.